Did we save him or kill him? Heyo, friendos! Good morning, good day, good night, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good time. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. So, my name is Ceruka Streams, and I am a brand new VTuber. This is my 3rd stream ever. I am a civet, I'm a geneticist, I'm non-binary, I'm queer, I'm ADHD, I'm all those good nerdy things. And I'm here to have fun and make friends. The entire point of what I want to create in my community is a group of regulars that like to hang out and we can talk about our latest passions, whether it's a new game, an old nostalgic game, anime, manga, books, new TV shows, a cool new craft project, or a cool science thing you've heard. I want to hear about it, I want to have a really active chat, and I just want us to be chatting about things while we play games and vibe. So today I'm going to be playing Ōkami, my favourite game of all time. It's a big nostalgic one for me. I probably first played Ōkami on the PlayStation 2, I believe it was. I then also played it on the Wii and the Wii U. I also played it, obviously I've played it on PC, and that's what we'll be doing for the stream. And I've also played it fully on the Switch. I also played Ōkami Den on the DS back in the day. So one could say I'm an Ōkami veteran. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily good at the game. So we're going to go to new game. And we're going to begin our adventure together. Myself, I'm, again, like I said, a big Ōkami fan. I've bought a bunch of figures from Japan when I visited. I do have the collector's edition art book and a couple of Nendoroids as well. I have a little Ōkami shrine set up in my house. So I'm very excited for it to be getting a sequel, and hopefully more merch. And I'm very excited to be playing this again. I really want to refresh my memory really well before we get a sequel. Long ago, a tiny hamlet known as Kamiki lay nestled in a grove of proud and beautiful cherry blossoms. Each and every tree around the quiet burg was honoured as a god. However, the village was not without its dark secrets. To satiate the appetite of Orochi, a fearsome cave-dwelling beach. Blah, 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 blah. So to satiate this horrible beast called Orochi, a young maiden was offered as a sacrifice at the annual festival. With a body like a mountain and 8 heads mounted on necks the size of tree trunks, its blood-red eyes alone were said to curse anyone who gazed into them. No one dared disobey the horrific beast. When the night of the sacrifice drew near, a mysterious white wolf appeared outside the village. This wolf, its coat as brilliant as snow, was dubbed Shiranui. The wolf kept a watchful eye on anyone who ventured outside the village, and made a habit of patrolling the streets at night. Therefore, people assumed the wolf to be a familiar of Orochi. One villager took it upon himself to face the fearsome Shiranui. The warrior Nagi attempted many times to challenge the wolf, but his attempts were thwarted by Shiranui's swift movements. Before long, the night of the accursed festival had arrived. A white-plumed arrow heralded the coming sacrifice. Piercing the sky, the arrow sunk its shaft squarely into the home of Nami, the village's most beautiful maiden. Nagi, harboring a secret love for Nami, was enraged by this sign. Determined to put an end to Orochi once and for all, Nagi traveled to the beast's cave in place of his beloved. The Moon Cave, a place as dark as evil itself, served as Orochi's home. As Nagi stood bravely before the entrance, a beast appeared, eyes glowing crimson upon 8 thrashing necks. Orochi stood tall before him, anxious for another sacrifice. Nagi leapt with incredible grace, swinging his blade valiantly. On and on he sliced, well into the moonless night. But Orochi's hide was like steel. The blade left nary a scratch. God, I don't know about the rest of you, but those of you who have played this before, while this opening is very long, I'm also getting a lot of nostalgia from it. Especially the music. Even the little wagga 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 noises. They do something to some primal childhood part of my brain, and I love it. I actually prepared a little Michikai jikan no jiko shoukai o junbimashou ne. Just in case anyone in the chat was gonna pop in and be like, I saw on Twitter you speak Japanese, and I'd be like, yes, I do. A lot of my peers started studying it because they fell in love with some manga or anime, but it was actually this game that did it for me. I wanted to learn more about the mythology, and the more kind of traditional side of Japan, and I fell in love with the kanji and hiragana shapes, so... At long last, Nagi, his energy spent from the intense battle, dropped to his knees, fatigued and gasping for breath. He knew he was staring death in the face. It was then that the wolf appeared. As if to protect Nagi, it stood its ground before Orochi. In the darkness of the cave, the wolf's coat shone a brilliant white. Alas, it was Shiranui, the wolf that dwelled outside the village. Bearing its fearsome claws, Shiranui leapt toward Orochi. Orochi reared its terrifying heads, readying its fangs for battle. The two beasts struggled wildly, thrashing in the darkness. Mysterious and terrifying, the spectacle continued. Shiranui summoned gusts of divine wind to counter Orochi's flames. Oh, that sound is nostalgic too. As Orochi closed in on Shiranui, sharpened claws glistening, a gigantic tree suddenly sprouted forth, shielding the wolf. Shiranui fought gallantly to gain the upper hand, however. Orochi, protected by a mystical power, was not easily bested. Shiranui, covered in gashes, majestic coat dyed crimson, stood exhausted before the mighty Orochi. Orochi saw a chance to strike what would be the final blow, but Shiranui refused to give in. With its last ounce of strength, the majestic wolf gazed heavenward and unleashed a mighty howl. Suddenly, the black clouds overhead dissipated. The light from above glinted off Nagi's sword as a beacon of hope. I love the, I'm not even sure it's a headcanon, it's probably canon at this point, that this scroll is Isan retelling the story, and that's why all of the brush techniques are actually painted onto the scroll, because Isan can actually use all of the brush techniques. Guided by his sword, Nagi, who had been taking shelter in the shadows, stood proudly to face his adversary. Channeling all his strength into his scarred and battled arms, he leapt ferociously toward Orochi, his sword poised high. The golden sword danced in his hands like a puppet on a string. One by one, Orochi's fearsome heads separated from their owner. Orochi's broken body collapsed in a lake of its own blood. In that instant, the curse that had plagued the villagers was lifted. As the battle subsided, the sun shone once again in the sky. Shiranui had succumbed to Orochi's poison and struggled to breathe. My boy. Nagi scooped the beast into his arms and returned to Kamiki. When they reached the village, Shiranui was no longer moving. The village elder gently stroked the wolf's head. In response, Shiranui let out a hoarse and pitiful bark, then closed its eyes and drifted off, as if into slumber. Peace had at last returned to Kamiki village. In honor of Shiranui's heroic exploits, the villagers erected a shrine and placed a statue of the wolf within it. Nagi's sword was christened Tsukuyomi and placed inside the moon cave. The villagers all looked forward to an age of endless peace. Ah yes, endless peace. That's definitely why we're starting a game at this point. The start. However, this is not the end of the story. There is more to this tale than most people know. 100 years had passed since Nagi and Shiranui's heroic exploits. It happened so quickly that no one in the village even took notice. Man, so I just got this new computer, and so while I'm streaming this in 1080p for everyone, I'm actually seeing it in 2K on my screen. Is this the legendary sword? Is this Tsukuyomi, the sword that banished the dreaded Orochi? No, it couldn't be. It's just a legend. Nothing but a fairy tale. I don't know how to voice this guy. I'm sure he has a lot of lines. I'll get there. Wow. Oh, the music's so good. Oh, he who seeks power, he who has broken my bonds. Speak the words, I wish darkness unto the world. Utter that prayer unto me, and unleash my power. Just casually unleashing death upon the whole world because you thought that it was just a legend. There's a reason legends exist. It gets so dark. Technically, that's the first cutscene over, everybody. Woo! I hope my voice acting isn't too terrible or annoying. A terrible tragedy suddenly swept over the land. However, there was one village that seemed to escape the terrible curse. A tiny settlement of Kamiki village enjoyed the protection of a sacred tree. It is here that the real story begins. Sakuya! 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 I'm just excited. I remember as a kid not understanding like 90% of the sexual innuendos in this game. I went back and played it again and I was like, oh shit, there's a lot of sexual innuendos. I'm pretty sure that thing on her head is it's a peach pit, obviously. Obviously, because she's a peach tree. So this is Sakuya. How troublesome. This is just like the ancient prophecy of doom. What has transpired to bring about such calamity? We must act quickly. There is no time to lose. My power has diminished over the years I've spent protecting this area. I don't have much more time left in this world. Amaterasu, now is the time. We have never needed your power more. Shine your divine light upon this broken and polluted world. Let your heavenly rays become our hope as you guide us all. Ōkami Amaterasu. Yoroshiku ne. Ah, such divine white light, such beauty and grace. The only one capable of such a wondrous spectacle is none other than our mother and the origin of all that is, Amaterasu. So Amaterasu is the name of the goddess of the sun in traditional Shinto folklore. Kind of like any really old mythology, Greek, Norse, etc. There are a lot of different versions and retellings. And this game incorporates a lot of them, but do be aware that obviously it is gamified and changed a bit, simplified. The legends surrounding all of these characters and gods, like Amaterasu, are a bit more complex than put in the game, but it is a great introduction. How delightful to see that the savior whose brave sacrifice sealed away the evil demon so many years ago has not changed one bit. Seeing you emerge after so many years spent as a statue brings happiness to my heart. I love Amy. I love a protagonist with actual personality. I think so many protagonists are very blank. And it'd be very easy for a non-talking god to not have much personality, but they give her so much personality. Amaterasu, gaze above you and take in the condition of the sky. Since your untimely departure from our midst, the world has succumbed to devious and vicious beasts. They have ravaged our fine and beautiful country of Nippon. I love that you can see that classic wave motif, in terms of waves of darkness in the background. You've got the great wave. But never have the circumstances been worse than they are at this very moment. Oh my god, look at it. I'm sorry, we're talking about really serious stuff, and you've got your whole ass out, lady. Your whole ass is out. Again, a lot of things I missed when I was a kid. Please, use your powers to banish the darkness and punish those who would do us harm. Huh? What is this? Has something stolen its way into my robe? Don't get banned on my third stream. I'm not gonna laugh, she's laughing for me. What on earth? You again? My boy. Ow, 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 ow. Are you nuts? Boy, for a little thing, you sure make a big fuss. I was just trying to make the conversation a bit more interesting, that's all. Were you napping in my clothes again, Bug? Bug? I told you 1,000 times not to call me that. I'm a wandering artist. The name's Isan. Wandering artist. Isan. I'll show you just how great I am, and it won't be long until you're bowing before my great brush. Everyone let me know if my voice for Isan is too annoying. I do sort of imagine it very high-pitched and nasally because of the wugga wugga noises that play. Well, what do you think? Even cuter than the real thing, no? And what's with you, Furball? You look kind of down in the dumps. Actually, you look kind of familiar. Oh, I got it! You look just like that statue of Shiranui. Friendship, like I said. Whoa! What do you think you're doing? Are you crazy? A handsome guy like me should never be covered in wolf slobber. You'll regret messing with the great Isan. Shing! Don't make me use my prized sword, Dekomaru, against you. What's with that growling sound? And why is it so dark anyway? Oh, great god, Amaterasu. I've used all the power I have to protect Kamiki village. The village lives on. Their spirits lie encased in my fruit. I'm not going to read into that too much. Cut it free, and the village will be reborn. I trust in you. I know that you will lead us down the right path. Only your awesome power can restore life to the world. The trees return to normal, huh? That Sakuya girl sure said some weird stuff. The village's spirits are being kept inside the fruit? Well, that's the fruit. That girl said that if you cut it down, the village will be restored? But it's awfully high up there. If you don't use some kind of special power, there's no way you're gonna reach it. This darkness is really getting to me too. A lot can happen while you're having a nap. Oh my god, you guys, we get to play the game! We got through the first, like, half an hour of cutscene. Yay! I don't remember any place like this in the village. Well, we better keep our eyes peeled. You can use the mouse to look around. Boy, you really look so helpless. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? Yeah, alright. Alright, yeah, I can play like this. Hold on. That's an origin mirror. They say that once your reflection appears in its surface, your memories will be stored in the mirror for all of eternity. Well, to put it shortly, you can save your progress here. And let me give you a little advice. You can save a number of game files. That way you can always go back if you get stuck on something. Like if I accidentally miss one of the few achievements that is missable. Gotta be prepared, especially while you're still learning the ropes. Look at all those pots just waiting to be broken. If you bust them, there might be something good inside. Get some yen. Whoa, whoa, hold on there, Furball. Get a load of that. That chest looks mighty tempting. Let's check it out. Getting up that high ought to be a piece of cake. But make sure you press it firmly so you can jump really high. I remember as a kid, like, smashing the button that corresponded to jump. I knew you could do it. They say good luck is found in high places, so keep your eyes peeled. We don't want to miss any treasure. No, sir. Holy bone. I end up with so many of those because I basically never use them. At least with the controller, I'm very good at dodging. We'll see how dodging goes. So if you see something that it looks like I'm about to miss, do let me know. It looks like this bridge is out. This shouldn't be so hard. Amaterasu, was it? Yeah, that's kinda long. Mind if I call you Amy? Listen, Amy, ever heard of the spirits of the brush? Good brushwork has its own soul. At least that's what they say. Just watch. It'd take all day to explain. A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Controls. Nice, huh? Just a little technique I've mastered called rejuvenation. It's one of the many brush techniques that use divine power. It's a brush god power that can restore broken or missing things. I've practiced really hard just to master this one technique. But there are 13! Each one is a power of one of the 13 brush gods. Originally, all 13 were a single powerful deity. When the deity died, its power was split into 13 separate gods. The gods now dwell within objects all around us, but god or no god, how could anyone have the power to master all 13? Wow, great foreshadowing there, Isan. I'm interrupted every 5 seconds. It's alright, I love this game too much to be annoyed. Even the little wagga wagga noise. Did anyone else's parents, if they played this as a kid on the TV or such, did anyone else's parents get really shitty? Like, turn that wagga wagga noise off. And I was like, I can't, Mum. It's the dialogue of this game. And now it brings me serotonin. The River of the Heavens? They mean the fabled Stardust River? But I sure don't see anything like that around here. It couldn't be that little puddle over there, could it? We've got a little puddle over here. Only water that won't drown you in the game, I believe. Let's go. Wow, look at the stars twinkle. I haven't seen such a beautiful nighttime sky in ages. Hey, look! Are those stars forming a pattern, or is it just me? There's one missing. Guess I'll have to draw the missing star. Ba-bow. You're just a guy. You're just a little guy. You can't make stars appear. Looks like I'm just not ready to draw missing stars. I sure spent a heck of a lot of time practicing that. I might turn the sensitivity down a little bit, but it seems to work well. Why, hello there! Ah, why if it isn't Mother Amaterasu. I apologize for not contacting you sooner, during these long years. It's right, bro, if I was a statue, probably wouldn't have said much. Having never forgotten you, I, Yomigami, god of restoration, have eagerly awaited this day when we could again meet. While you were away, the 13 spirits of the brush that you once possessed, including myself, have been scattered across this land of men, and now lie in disarray. I became a constellation and managed to survive until now. The time has come for you to seek out and reunite all of the techniques. Your power is what is needed to restore the dried riverbed of the heavens and renew the flow of stardust. I just love the red and white designs. I think they're going to make a fantastic tattoo. All the brush gods just look so cool. Wow! That was Yomigami, the god of rejuvenation! Wait, so you have the power of rejuvenation now? Just like that? Can you really use it to restore the river of the heavens? That would mean you were as good as with a brush as yours truly. Nah, that couldn't be true. Who else could master this incredible god technique? I don't know, Isan. A god. Have you not been paying any attention to what anyone was saying? And I'm stopped again. River of the heavens. Wonder if drawing some stardust would get the river flowing again. Nah. Like, it's one thing to fix a bridge, but fixing a starry river? There's no way you could pull off a stunt like that. Watch me, bitch. Now, I believe right-click, right mouse is the fatter brush. That seems to have worked. Whoa! A river of stardust? So this really must be the river of the heavens. But what I really want to know is who the heck drew the darn thing? Oh, I wish I was as oblivious as Isan, honestly. Finally! Something good to eat. Look what you found, Furball. This astral pouch here is amazing. It can swallow up heaps of food, and then when it's full, it can revive its owner if he or she dies. Non-binaries don't die. We're immortal. It's true. Let's start by feeding it whatever food we can find around here. Hinty McHint. I found an apple. Nectar-filled sweet apple. I found a peach. Juicy and fragrant. Sometimes the food in Ōkami, the little picture, it's not high def enough to make me hungry, but the description certainly does. Sharp citrus taste. Is that everything? I believe so. This whole area you can come back to though, so I'm not super concerned if I miss anything, but I believe that's everything. I just love how pretty this is. I remember when I went to Japan for the first time as a teenager, just being blown away with how similar a lot of things looked. It really did feel, you know, like going to Kyoto and going to some of the temples. I think this is the first stray bead. Yes, first stray bead. I keep clicking double jump and I don't have a double jump yet. Fountain of Nagi. Nagi? What's his name doing in here? There wasn't even anything in that. A couple again. Dumplings! That's nice and filling. Like, just look at the art style, the way the leaves are blowing. I love the way fire, and when you walk around things, how they kind of stay 2D in a 3D space. I always thought that was amazing as a kid. I wasn't really sure how they did it. I didn't know anything about 3D modeling. I just knew that this didn't look like any other video game I'd ever played. And that really drew me in, as I'm sure it did to a lot of people. Is this the legendary shrine? We must be in the Cave of Nagi. The legendary hero Nagi is enshrined here. He vanquished evil 100 years ago with the help of the White Wolf, Shiranui. First the River of the Heavens, and now this place? Where the heck are we, Furball? Boy, this place is a wreck, though. See? That sword's in really bad shape. The gods sure didn't do much to protect this place. I mean, it's literally the only place that's protected in the whole world right now, Isan. The whole rest of the world is just darkness. That was definitely a straight line. Thank you, game, for being so forgiving. That really was your brushwork all this time. How'd you get so good? Exactly who are you, anyway? Hey, there's another constellation. This one looks like Honestly, absolutely love this god as well. Big fan of tiny characters with massive swords. Look at that. So this is Tachigami. Tachi meaning cut, Gami meaning god. And you can see that kanji when we absorb it as well. Well, 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 if it isn't Mother Amaterasu. It's been a long time. With all these monsters around, the only place I could hide was in this shrine dedicated to ancient heroes. If there is anything I can do to assist you in your endeavors, I'm at your service. Make good use of this sword, as it was designed to conquer evil. Lil rat friends. There you go, Peachy. Wow. Hey, that was the god Tachigami, master of the power slash technique. Wait a minute, if you're getting all these powers, then you're just like Shiranui. You know, the wolf that fought and died alongside the great hero Nagi. When Shiranui died, the wolf's power was split into the 13 brush gods. This is crazy! Shiranui and Nagi? It's just like the legend. Well, anyway, I've never seen this power slash technique myself. How about showing your stuff off on that boulder over there? Let me see you slice it in half. I won't believe it till I see it. Seeing is believing. Donk. Wow! I didn't think you had it in you, Furball. I'm not even in the same league as you. See, he can be humble. He can be humble. Guess I really overestimated myself. Hey, Furball. No, I mean Amaterasu. I've made up my mind. If you're Shiranui reborn, then that means you can master all 13 techniques, right? In that case, I think I'll tag along until I'm as good as you. Lucky you! The world's most annoying talking flea. I love our little flea boy. It's no use trying to change my mind. There's no stopping me once I've made a decision. But enough about me. Now that you've mastered the power slash, you can cut down that thing that Sakuya was talking about. Let's go back and give it a shot. You know, the all-powerful fruit that she stored the souls of the villagers in. That thing, Isan says. Ah, shit, I cut... I cut a tree as well. And the lanterns. Alrighty, let's... Ooh! Ah, first combat. But what the... Where did they come from? Nah, whatever. Draw first, ask questions later, right? You know that divine instrument you have on your back? Yes, I do. I am aware. Look, Amy! Once you've caught them off guard, they turn black and white. They're easy prey for your brush, no matter how nasty they are. I did that already, but thank you. The combat's fun, especially because it's a lot of learning different enemies' attack sequences, and using the right brush power against them, so combat kind of becomes a puzzle as well. I'm so glad I didn't completely flop and die in my first combat. I've never done that before, but it feels like Murphy's Law for a stream where I'm trying to be cool. So for those of you who haven't played the game before, you can see in the top left corner, I've got these kind of sun swirl pictures and also these ink pots. So the swirls are my health, And the ink pots are how many times I can do things, as you see. Ooh, gourd. If I used up all the ink, I would run out of power and turn plain white, and all my divine instrument and all my divine powers go away, and I'm really vulnerable to attack. So you gotta try and make sure you keep that at least not empty. I did live in Japan for a couple of months on an exchange program, but by no means am I an expert. I'm not Japanese myself. I'm just a weeb. In very brief essence, one of the Shinto creation myths is that the mother goddess and the father god woke up in the middle of a formless, soupless ocean, and they drew into existence the islands of Japan. And the idea that the gods painted Japan into existence is reflected in this game. As you can see here, we have released the power of nature from the fruit. Oh, I love this music. Look at that. Wow, the village has been restored. Sakuya really came through big time. She really was protecting the village. But I sure wish I could have spent some more time in her kimono, if you know what I mean. No, Isan, I don't know what you mean. Please spell out how you were sexually harassing this woman. Sigh. Isan gets better. But seriously, with monsters running around and all, the village could still be in danger. Let's go see how they're all doing down there. Hello? What in the world? I don't remember there being a statue here. Well, whatever. Let's go talk to the villagers. You just like cover your face with a... Whoa. It's like the villagers have turned to stone or something. Not again. That's not one of those smaller monsters that's lurking about. A roar like that's gotta belong to something much bigger. Let's hurry up and find someone with a pulse around here. No good, this one's not moving. Everyone here was perfectly fine just a few hours ago. Before your nap. There's definitely something strange going on around here. The village is back, but what's up with this dark sky? Maybe it's dark outside the village too? Let's find some high ground so we can take a look. I have played this game over 20 times. I don't need the giant arrow, but thank you anyway. This is bad. The sun's not even shining. It's as black as night as far as the eye can see. And not a single villager can move a muscle. Is it really some kind of curse? Did a monster do this? It's not gonna stay like this way forever, is it? If only the sun were out to light our way. If you could draw a circle in the sky, then we'd have ourselves a sun. But I guess that'd be impossible, even for a god like you. Maybe we'd better seek out another brush god for help. Of course, if you had that power from the start, that'd be a different story. Isan, what am I the god of again, remember? You were looking at Sakuya's butt and not actually paying attention, but Amaterasu is the god of the sun, so... What the? Come to think of it, your name is Amaterasu. That's the name of the sun god. Yes, Isan. You're catching up slowly. So it'd follow that you had the sunrise technique from the start. With it, you can even turn the night into day. Wow, you're no run-of-the-mill god, that's for sure. The flowing brush is like music from the heavens. That's a little line from one of my grandfather's poems. He felt a skilled artist was like a musician of shape and color. Since you're such a great artist yourself, why don't we name your brushwork after that poem of his? It's called Celestial Brush. After all, your brush did bring out the sun. Well, Amy, let's get back to the village. We gotta see if the villagers are back to normal now. Who are you? Every little piece of design in these characters is just... They're very simple designs that makes them easier to render in this beautiful style. But just Mr. Orange has an orange on his head, and his nose is an orange shape, and... I love that there's a lot of different characters with different body shapes, and they really, like, exaggerate with the hand on the back there. They really exaggerate body movements, and they did a lot with a little for the PlayStation 2, you gotta remember. Very impressive. I can't wait to see what they do with the sequel. How intentional the designs are, exactly led, exactly. Every little detail is thought of. And yeah, I can't wait to see what they can do with more modern technology, although I hope they still put as much care and consideration into each bit. I think sometimes high-powered computers can make devs a little bit lazy, but I trust the makers of Ōkami to not be like that, because they're getting a lot of the original people back on board. A white wolf? Not the one who fought that terrible creature with Nagi. You couldn't possibly be the legendary Shiranui. No, it can't be. That story is 100 years old. Still, you do look a lot like that statue of Shiranui. On the other hand, you don't look quite as smart. Yeah, Emmy, get his ass. Get his ass. How dare he talk to you like that? What? No need to growl like that. Can you really understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm not one to mince words. I just state the facts. Ah, the real reason Amy started growling. Green Oni. I think they call them imps in the translation. What's this sudden chill down my spine? Here they come, Furball. Those are the monsters that have been plaguing these lands. They sneak into villages and cause all sorts of trouble. Step aside, Furball. This is a job for my trusty sword, Denkamaru. Did we save him or kill him? Honestly. I've had this little tradition ever since I was a kid, that when the fight finishes in Ōkami, to do a little bark. It's like a victory howl. Wow, you get really aggressive when you're mad, don't you? Hey, you got yourself some praise. And look, see that dried up spring began flowing again? That's because ridding an area of monsters restores a god's power to the land. People call it divine intervention. The more you restore the land to its natural beauty, the more praise you'll get. It's the source of your power. Few people believe in the gods these days, and that may weaken you, but if you try real hard, your true power might just shine through. But boy, there sure has been a lot of monsters around lately. And that Mr. Orange you tossed up around on the sacred deck? Looks like he thinks you're an ordinary wolf. Seems the god have grown so weak that people can't even see them anymore. Bow. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Oh, anyway, let me show you around the village. I have a feeling we're in for an epic adventure. Foreshadowing. This should be fun, Furball.